powerful union is coming after Amazon, and I'm here to see all of it. I'm here for all of it. Watch this.
Amazon, that marvel of modern shipping that's successfully defeated unionization pushes for years, might finally be facing a worthy challenger.
The Teamsters will build the types of worker and community power necessary to take on one of the most powerful corporations in the world and win.
That's right, one of the country's oldest, largest, and most powerful unions is coming for Amazon's warehouses. In June, representatives of the Teamsters' 1.4 million members voted overwhelmingly to focus the union's energy on what they're calling the Amazon Project. They're planning to get workers unionized by organizing strikes, education drives, training programs, and generally being a big pain in Amazon's ass. And sure, Amazon busted a huge union push in Bessemer, Alabama earlier this year, but that push was led by the retail, wholesale, and department store union. The Teamsters have much more leverage because they also represent workers in trucking, package delivery, freight trains, and ports, all things that Amazon needs to do business. Plus, the Teamsters are legends at this stuff. The union took on UPS Freight in the 90s. 185,000 workers went on strike for 2 weeks and got UPS to raise wages and give more job security. And the Teamsters have been having that type of success since it started organizing workers well over 100 years ago. Its original members were horse drivers, grave haulers, and beer wagon drivers, so logistics workers.
So there is no other union in the United States that is as embedded in the same industries that Amazon works in as the Teamsters. And so in this sense, they are unmatched in terms of in the country in terms of their ability to organize Amazon. So the Teamsters has 1.4 million members in the United States and like 500 local unions that are everywhere. And so they basically have the power to sort of bring Amazon to its knees with like a massive coordinated work stoppage across the country. And I think that Amazon is aware of that.
The Teamsters are tagging into this fight because of what they say are Amazon's terrible labor practices. Like how delivery drivers say they've had to pee in bottles because finding a bathroom would put them behind on Amazon's work requirements, which then puts them at risk of getting in trouble or fired. Amazon denies this. And Amazon's so powerful that workers at other companies say their working conditions are being impacted too, as shipping and delivery companies like UPS try to keep up with Amazon. Teamster members at UPS say they're being asked to work longer days, on weekends, and on holidays, and to hit quotas that one union member called astronomical. All things that the Teamsters fought against back in the 90s. So Amazon workers unionizing would benefit them too. Amazon didn't respond to our request for comment. And while the Teamsters' big Amazon project hasn't gone into full swing yet, the union is already making headway with Amazon workers in California and Iowa. And this clash of titans is just getting started.
Oh my God, I hope it happens. I hope to God this happens. And I hope it's going to happen. I hope it works, man. I hope it works because Amazon, we all use Amazon. It's as American as apple pie. But there's so, besides its crazy business tactics and horribleness their working conditions are bad. I mean, their warehouses are set to, they're not climate controlled. I mean, we saw this with the Frito-Lay workers at Frito-Lay's where, workers get electrocuted and they don't get health care. There's that video that went out. And then, you see it where, what is it? The climate is so hot. And other times where Amazon warehouses are so freaking cold. They're so cold. And they're cold. And so, not cold, but cold. So, this is beside, right? And then this is just really bad. And, another thing is, workers have had to pee in bottles. They've had to piss in bottles because Amazon has such strict, not coordinates, but quotas that the workers have to meet as though they're robots, right? Because robots aren't human. We treat technology as, well, technology. And Amazon treats humans like, well, technology, like robots. So they have to pee in bottles and often shit in bags because they need to get their job done. And if they don't, the tracking meter and then the cameras on the trucks are going to say to Amazon's internal system, oh, well, this person, Mike, John, Cheryl, whoever is driving your trucks, and they were 2 minutes late. Well, they can get fired, and not by a manager. That hey man, come into my office. No, it's a camera or a little buzzer that says you're fired, and that's it. Put it down. Get out. That's how it works. So, Amazon, and by the way, they were not paying good wages. And look, as much as I criticize Bernie Sanders, when he was running for president at first, he did partner up with Ro Khanna to do the Stop Bezos Act. I don't remember the actual acronym, but it was labeled that way, and each letter stood for something. But in a way, it brought Amazon to its knees, and the top officials in Amazon were like, okay, we'll pay $15 an hour. And it was because the bill was worked in a way, formatted in a way where, because workers were earning so little wages, they were having to go, and they still are, right, to this day, but they, more than now, were having to go to the government and say, give me food stamps, give me Social Security, give me WIC, give me this, give me that. So they had to get government assistance from our social safety net programs. And so it was attractive to conservatives because, well, if you pay them more, then you have less people coming to us for help. And not only that, but it wasn't really that. Conservatives aren't really going to buy that. I think what really caught them, off guard, caught Amazon off guard, but what really got, Republicans on board was, I think it was that Amazon, for every dollar that its workers had to get from the government and kind of request from the government, Amazon had to pay the government in return. And corporations absolutely hate paying the government. That's why they get away with not paying any taxes. So Amazon was like, oh, okay, fine, we'll pay $15 an hour. So now on to the union. Look, the union drive that happened in Bessemer, Alabama, I talked about it on this channel, that failed. And the NLRB came out and said, or whatever it was called, hey, that was actually illegal how Amazon union busted it. They went out and intimidated people. You're going to lose your job if you vote for this. You're going to do. We're going to cancel you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And they're saying that it was illegal, and they're recommending that the votes be held again. So they're in trouble there. But this Teamsters union, like you just heard them, the guy, they're in shipping, ports, freight trains, retail. They're everywhere. Delivery. So they've got 1.5 million members. They've got 500 local unions everywhere. Oh, they're legends at this. That's why a lot of people went to work for UPS, because they had great benefits. And why? Because the Teamsters union went after them. They've been around for 100 years. So if they were helping beer wagoners, beer wagon drivers or whatever, horse drivers, grave haulers, they obviously they're going to be here now. But this is why it's more effective. It's because Amazon was able to tap into just the retail and wholesale business and say, oh, yeah, no, whatever. These guys can get anybody to go on strike, and they'll help them go on strike. They're unionized. So if UPS drivers, about 100,000 of them, decide, F you, Amazon, we're going on strike, and Teamsters is backing us up, so we're not afraid of you. And then the freight train people are like, yeah, I'll go on strike because... And the packaging people. So they're in packaging, ports, freight trains, delivery drivers, UPS, shipping. They're everywhere. Retail, all of that. Yeah. So, right. So I thought someone was out the door. So by this happening, by them, if you get, the Teamsters Union gets every one of those industries to go on strike. Let's say they do it one at a time and tell Amazon, hey, we're able to control all these businesses. They're literally in every one of these businesses. they unionize every one of these businesses. They control. They're not controlling them, but they can effectively control them. Amazon needs UPS to deliver their packages, even though they have their own trucks, but they still work with them. They need package packers. They need the freight trains to get things there. They need the ports to get their. They need it to do business. And if every one of those goes on strike, guess what? It helps them too. Why? Because they're now being forced and having to work unattainable quotas, astronomical, as one of the union members said, because of Amazon. They're the ones going to these other industries and saying, well, we need you to hurry it up because we have to meet our quotas. That's who we are. We're Amazon. And these poor workers who've got benefits before are now having to work extra hours, holidays, weekends, and possibly for not enough pay. So in a way, it's helping them because now Amazon's going to fix itself, hopefully, and it's going to help the Amazon workers for obvious reasons. Better work environment, better pay, better whatever. So, oh man, if they can bring Amazon to their knees, oh my God. Look, I'm hopeful, but I'm also not as optimistic because I'm optimistic, but not as much because I know what Amazon's capable of. But this is, look, every time there's a new challenger, someone's going to take them down. Someone. Even if they don't get too much, if you destroy their main center of business, I know people are going to be, oh, no one's getting their packages. Yeah, but average people are going to get help because of this union strike. And if they're already starting in California and Iowa, they ain't messing around and they're going to pull no punches. So, God, I hope this works, and I hope we can get Amazon warehouse workers and everybody else in the industry, in the industries that Teamsters works in, some good benefits and some good help. Boy, I would love if Amazon went down because of this.